Hi there, welcome back for another Drive and Talk with me, Ren. Today I'm going to talk about change, about everything always being dynamic, moving, why that is a good thing, and why holding on to things as they are and trying to keep everything the same is not so good, or is even a bad thing, an unnatural thing. So yeah, change, it's one of the few things in the universe, our universe, that is always happening. There's always change. Nothing stays the same. There are basically two universal rules, right? The first thing is everything is temporary. It doesn't matter what. Everything from nature to objects to planets to the universe, our universe, everything is temporary, meaning that eventually it will become something else. It will fall apart or it will change in some way. So all the things that we perceive, all the things that are present in our lives will eventually move on to become something else. Think about it. If you take some examples right now, I'm in a car. This car will eventually be reduced to scrap, or it gets turned into something else, like, I don't know, a machine, another machine, right? Parts get used for something else. Me as a human, I'm only temporary. I will eventually die, fade away, and I will just be a memory for maybe a couple of decades, and then people will forget about me too. So everything is only temporary, right? You're only here for a very brief amount of time. This car will only be here, will only exist for a very brief amount of time. If you take like the entire universe, the entire time of existence, things will only be here for a very short while. So everything is only temporary. There is nothing that is here forever. It doesn't exist, right? Even the universe itself, which is one of many universes. So that's basically universal rule number one. So everything is temporary. Now, if everything is actually temporary, then this means that we should really enjoy the things that we have, like this life, this voice, vision, hearing. Like, you may think that these are just given things, but I can assure you, one thing too, they will go away. One day too, they will end. I'm pretty old, so these are things that are probably closer to me than to you if you're young. But everything is temporary. Everything will end. So if you know that, and you can really incorporate that into your way to see the world, the way you see yourself, the way you see other people, but also intangible things like relationships with friends and family, this all will pass, right? Then hopefully they will become more valuable to you, because that co-worker I just said goodbye to, or my family, or just simple things like I said, speech and hearing, eyesight, they can just go away like that, and it will be completely out of your control. So again, everything's only temporary, and all things will end eventually. So in my opinion, and in the opinion of many others, try to enjoy these things and really see them for what they are, right? This is not like we're like doom thinking or like being super pessimistic. This is reality, right? The reality of all things is that they will fade away, that they are temporary, and that all things must end. So it's actually a pretty optimistic way to look at it, because if you reframe it that way, you can enjoy them, you should enjoy them much more. Now, the second rule is that change is the only constant. So everything is always changing. That's just the nature of our universe. And to some people, this might sound like a really scary thing. And that's because most people, when they have a good thing going, they're healthy, they have a good job, they have maybe a nice relationship going on, they want things to stay the same. That is, by its very nature, impossible. Okay? Things will change. Maybe you'll get promoted to a new position, which would be amazing. You make more money, but maybe it brings more stress. Maybe you get more competitors in that position, right? So you could also lose your job, and if you have to find another job, you have to find new co-workers, you have to find maybe new type of work. Trying to keep these things the same will always result in a lot of stress and a lot of grief and a lot of lost energy, because eventually they will always change whether you want to or not. Same goes for relationships, same goes for health, and all of the other things in our lives. Now, again, I'm old, I've been around for a long time, so I know for a fact things will always change, and usually at the times where you least expect them. So I learned over the years to not really expect anything, not to assume anything. Life will just unfold itself the way it will unfold itself. And this whole notion that you can control the direction of your life, to me, my personal opinion is that is a complete illusion. You will have no control over what happens. I have no control over what happens in the next 10 seconds, right? Can you steer your life? Can you point your life into the right direction sometimes by making certain decisions? Yes, absolutely. But I think that these decisions are not the decisions that most people will think about. It's not about actually choosing this partner over the next, choosing to marry this girl or this guy instead of that girl, that guy. I don't think those are the actual choices. Or choosing this job over that job because you made a list of that this job will be better for you. I believe that the decisions that will put you in the right direction, put you on the road to success, whatever that is for you, are the decisions that really have, some kind of influence over the way that you think, the way that you see the world. So you actually have to take a couple of steps back and make decisions about that, about what I just told you, about really trying to put effort and energy into seeing the world for what it is, that it's temporary, that all these things will go away, that you have to enjoy these things, that you have no control, that you can only influence these things, and that life in itself, by its very nature, has no meaning. The only thing you can do is find meaning and really stick to that and dedicate yourself to that. I mean, if everything is only temporary and things are always changing, there is no real meaning in life. That's just like a factual thing. The only thing you can do is choose a meaning for your life and stick to it and work for that, right? And if that mission, that vision could be to be of value and to be helpful to others in the world, then that could be a good thing. But if you agree with me that everything is temporary, that everything will end, and that that these two things will be things that you will have no control or influence over, then the accumulation of wealth and material things and status suddenly seem, quite trivial, right? That's how I think about it anyway. That's how I live my life. I just put my energy and effort into the things that I believe in, and that is to be of value to others, and to live a good life where I can help people and be an example to my children and my co-workers and the people that I surround myself with, and to make very deliberate choices of what I want, what I don't want, and to build a life that is in tune with that mission and vision. So what can we do to help ourselves in this life if everything is only temporary, everything will end, and that everything is always changing? Well, I believe that practicing changing times and practicing understanding that things will end will help you with that. The best way I know to do that is to engage in physical activity and to engage in high intensity work. Things like CrossFit or high rocks or just running or any type of sport. It will teach you that you will have no control over the circumstances. If you have to run a marathon or do a triathlon, could be raining, could be freezing, your bike could break down. All these things can happen, and you can be frustrated and yell all you want. You will have no control over them. You will understand that even if you do your absolute best, somebody will always be faster. Somebody will always be stronger. You will have good days, you will have bad days, right? You will learn and teach yourself by engaging in all these activities and going through all these roller coasters of emotions that, these things will just happen. You will have no control over them. But the best way to deal with them is just to enjoy your victories and to enjoy just the essence of your fitness, right? Because that's what you do in competition, right? You're just celebrating your fitness, because that's all it is, right? Your training will just be accumulating reps and sets and experience, failures and victories, and they will have to come out on that particular competition day, on that particular competition moment. And at that moment you will find out that you will have not a lot of control over the outcome, and that everything is temporary. There's always somebody faster, better, stronger, and that's okay, right? That could be you, could be somebody else. So yeah, this is just something I was thinking about these laws of the universe and how you can navigate them better by training and competing in sports, and to enjoy the things that we have and the things that we can, because soon they will be gone. Thank you for joining me on this drive and talk. I hope you have an amazing day.